Yeah, I've got a story for you. Oh God, should probably be good at this. Pressure's on. So we were me and my friend Jasper, who I'm currently doing this tuk-tuk trip on. We enjoy spearfishing. Now we did a lot of it in Indonesia. He's done a lot of it all over the world. To be honest, he's a very good spearfisherman. But he came to me one day and he's like, "Josh, crazy plan. This country on the far easterly point of Indonesia called Timor-Leste. I think Timor-Leste means east in Bahasa and Portuguese. So it's east. It's very far east. It's been ravaged by war for a long time. I think it stopped in the 90s, but essentially had a big civil war. So the reef around it is, heralded as a lot of it's untouched. And you've got a lot of shoals of like dogtooth tuna there, apparently. Now, dogtooth tuna, if you're a spear fisherman, are pretty much at the top of the list in terms of fish that you want to get. I'd never shot one before that. And Jasper was like, look, dude, if you come with me to Timor-Leste, we'll get you one. And I was like, I'm in. So we
Right.
so we flew to Timor-Leste. We found a car to rent for $100 a day. So it was expensive. It was a 4x4. So we got these two girls from the hostel. We said, right, if you come with us, we'll go do the whole of the coast together. You pay $25 each. We pay $25 each. Which basically and their only catch was not catch, but like the bonus for them was we'll we'll go spearfishing and we promise we'll catch you like food so that we don't actually, we'll save money on that as well. So it was like that was part of the bargain. Like it seemed
Very
like,
caveman of you.
yeah, I know. So I mean, I'm probably gonna get cancelled for that. But you realistically, that's literally what we said to them. We were like, "Here's the deal. We promise we'll catch fish. We're doing this drive, and we just couldn't spend $100 a day, man." So we luckily those girls they were adventurous. One was actually American girl called Katie, and Larissa, who was a Singapore girl, and both of them were legends. And they were like, "Yeah, boom, we're in. We love fish. We want to see the Timor-Leste coastline. Let's go drive it." So they hopped in the car, very trusting girls, and they were, good company. And we boosted. Got to the first campsite, had a whiskey, a couple of cigarettes, and a nice chat. And then the next morning, obviously, it was time to go and get some fish. Like time to get breakfast. So we hopped in, and we went about 100 meters out to sea. So we swam over this like 2 meter depth of like rock and beach, and then we just hit this wall, man, that went down about 30 meters to 35 meters at points of just this wall of coral that just stretched down into the depths. And we were like, oh, there's fish at the bottom of you. And it was this crazy visibility, maybe 30 to 40 meter viz. So you're seeing just everything. You're just seeing these octopuses, crazy corals, reef sharks, fish swimming in and out, fish like you wouldn't believe, coral like you wouldn't believe, giant like corridors of coral where the rock is split. And we were like, this seems like a pretty good spot to drop off. So we would go down one after another. Jasper went down, I went down, Jasper went down. And while one's at the top, they're breathing up, the other one's going down hunting. Jasper went down, and while he was down, there's like fourth or fifth dive. He shoots a fish, and I'm at the surface, and I start hyperventilating because I'm like, which is a stupid idea. It's how you die spearfishing. So I'm like, and I don't know why I was doing it, man. I don't know if it was excitement, if I was hungover. I kind of was conscious that I was doing it. I just didn't understand the danger. I guess I was ignorant. And then Jasper came up with the fish, and he's like, "There's another one in that hole, coral trout. Get down there, shoot it, and that's 2 fish will do 4 of us." So I get the gun and I start dropping. And when you get to about 10 meters, you go negative buoyancy, so you just start falling like a skydive almost. It felt like I was skydiving down this wall of coral, just like, wow, is this cool? And then you hit the bottom around about 20, 21 meters, and then you just hold on to like a little rock, so you're like, steady. You've got the spear gun. I was just waiting for this fish. Fish was playing with me in and out of the cave, in and out of the cave. I was down there for about 2 minutes, and I was like, okay, I still feel good, but that's because I'd hyperventilated. So my body thought it had more oxygen than it did because my CO2 level was down. It wasn't because I had more oxygen, but when you hyperventilate, your CO2 level in your blood drops, and the CO2 level rising is what tells your body to breathe. So my body, I tricked it. I tricked it into thinking I had plenty of oxygen. Eventually, the fish sticks its head out a bit too far, and I shoot it straight to the spine. It's out, lights out, headshot. And then I start I start swimming back up to the surface. I give Jasper a little fist pump. Around this point, it's about 2 minutes 40 to 3 minutes that I've been down.
And you're
Jasper,
holding your breath, or are you scuba diving?
holding breath, holding breath.
Holy shit!
Yeah, this is when I was better at it. My God, I've been smoking too many cigarettes. But so Jasper goes down, grabs the fish, and he looks up. And at this point, when I was about 10 meters away from the surface, my vision starts going like until it was like a little blue speck, and then boom, gone. So I had shallow water blackouted 10 meters below the surface with weights on, so I was sinking. So Jasper looks up at my body, and also another stupid thing I did, because if any spearfisherman was listening to this, they're going to like, this guy deserves to die. But I had my snorkel as well in my mouth. I was just hungover, man. I was making stupid decisions. My snorkel was in my mouth. Water was pouring in my snorkel straight into my lungs, and pulmonary foam was forming in my lungs and pouring out of my nose. So Jasper looked up, and I had these streams of pulmonary foam jetting out of my nose, and I'm sinking. I've been down already for about 3 minutes. So he drops everything, grabs me, swims me to the surface. He knows that at about 5 minutes, parts of your brain start to die. So you're either a vegetable or you're literally dead. So he's then like, he's got a race against time. 100 meters to shore, you've got your mate whose lungs are full of water, who's vibrating in the sea. I had a seizure, and then I went limp in his arms. And he was like, how am I going to get his body back to his parents, was his first thought. I'm in the poorest country, one of the poorest countries in the world, no development at all. And I've got this dead body in my arms, 100 meters out to sea. So he flips me around, starts on the chest compressions. He's not able in the sea to get enough pressure to actually make any dent in the lung foam. So I'm still a dead body in his arms. He flips me around and starts just blowing into my mouth as hard as he can. At this point, he's in his brain, he's like, right, 4 minutes, 30. I've got about 30 seconds until this man is a vegetable. So he starts blowing into the lungs. The pulmonary foam, as he's doing this, he gets a cough, and I cough foam into his mouth. And because there's waves smashing over him, he refuses. He's kicking hard to keep both of us up with weight belts as well. He refuses to spit it out. So he swallows pulmonary foam out of my mouth and keeps blowing. And he pumps the pulmonary foam using his mouth into his own mouth and swallows it. He swallows all of the foam out of my lungs to the point where I cough again. And like it's cough, and I breathe like in, and he's like, yes. And then he brings me back to the shore. And like this whole time this has been going on, dude, I have been tripping balls. Like I have been zipping through dimensions and stuff. Like, don't know if you've ever tried DMT, but it's a lot like it. Like just zoom.
I have, yeah.
You have? Okay, boom.
Ayahuasca, yeah.
Okay, exactly. Okay, it was a DMT trip, man. I was just like colors, inexplicable. And then Jasper's like, he brings me back to the shore, and he says it's the most interesting thing he's ever seen. But like I go from like this like comatose, dribbling dead guy, and then I just like spring to like my feet, looking dead in the eye. I was like, you're not gonna believe where I've just been or what I've just seen. And then she went boom, straight back into being a dead guy. And then that was a whole ordeal. That was a whole ordeal, and that's half the fucking sting, Dan. Because the main thing with drowning is secondary drowning, and that's what gets you, because your lungs are stuffed, full of water. So Jasper then has to get me to the nearest hospital, 2-hour drive away, slapping the shit out of me, dude, to keep me awake. Because if I go to sleep, I'm dead, secondary drowning. So he's driving in this thing hundreds of kilometers an hour along this like dirt road, slapping the crap out of me to keep me awake. Get me into the hospital, pull me into the hospital, get me on the oxygen, boom. As soon as the oxygen comes, my lungs are able to get a bit more in me, my brain comes back, and then I'm back in the room. And I'm like, right, okay, that's just happened. We need to get, like, what's the plan? The doctor comes in, he's like, right, I'm putting this tube down your penis. And I was like, so what do you mean you're putting a tube down my penis? He was like, this tube, we're going to put a catheter in you. I was like, if the water's in here, the water's in here. And he was like, sorry, bud. And he literally pulls down my shorts, grabs my wiener, which after dying and drowning is about this big in the cold sea. And he just starts
it's an innie.
Dude, it's an innie. And he starts feeding a pipe, I swear to God, this thick down my penis. Like, this is a Timorese doctor. Like, I think he was practicing on me. I think he just wanted to see what it looked like down there. And he's stuck. I'm screaming. And he eventually gets it. about 8 inches down my wiener. And then he goes, right, you're getting medevaced on a plane. So I get put on the plane, holding my bag of piss after drowning in Timor-Leste. Like, this is a shit day. And then they fly me to Dili, the capital city, where they have ventilators. If my lungs fail, they can keep me going. And they wheel me into the hospital and holding this bag of pee. There's a waiting room of 300 people, crying, sad, really like quite a sad scene. And then it's just this one white guy holding his bag of urine, naked, with his willy out. Like, what is going on? And then the doctor comes up to me and he's like, and I'm like, can you please take this out of my willy? And he goes, why have you got a catheter in? And I was like, the doctor said I needed it. He went, no, dude, you don't need a catheter at all. I was like, oh, this sucks.
Oh.
He pulls a curtain around me. These 7 Timorese nurses come in, maybe about 4'5" to 5 foot, about 150 centimeters, very short, very lovely. One of them holds my hand, another hold my hand, another was patting my forehead, another was holding a bucket. I'm like, what's the bucket for? And then the doctor comes over, grabs this tube in my willy and just pulls it out like Excalibur. And I just scream the C word so loudly, there's blood pouring out of my man bits into this bucket, which this nurse has got, being like, yeah, I know I got the bucket. And then they pull I scream the word, I'm going to say it, maybe beep it, cunt. And they scream as loud as I possibly could. And then they pull the curtain back around me. And there's just a silent room of 300 people looking at this naked British guy with blood just all over him down here. And it was just wild day, dude. It's a wild day. But anyway, to finish it up quickly, a week later, I got out of hospital, went back spearfishing again, and I shot a dogtooth tuna. So, yeah, we got there in the end, baby.
Fuck, dude. That was intense.
Yeah, man. That was a wild week, that Timor-Leste time.
Any secondary effects afterwards? Like, did you... From drowning? Like, was there anything else that happened to you, or did you feel weird?
No, man. I mean, it was a bit of a game changer in terms of, like, drowning. Like, that's... it was a game changer in terms of mindset. And you're like, oh, that can happen, man. That can happen. You can just get... Literally, you just get deleted. You just get, boop, and then you're off. And it's like, that's... And then it was like a... And I was just about to start the job in Indonesia after that week. So I would have missed out on the island, missed out on the tuk-tuk, wouldn't have known what happens in the end of Game of Thrones. Like, you just start thinking about all these really weird things. Like,
that might have been a good thing.
Yeah, I know, it was pretty crappy. But then, weirdly, my mind was just going through, like, what you miss as a human when you go. Because, like, I love life so much, and I love stories humans tell, and I love watching the story of humanity just plodding by. That big thing was like, wow, like, really finish books, dude. Finish books. like, you know, you don't want to be left hanging in the end.
Holy shit! Can we touch quickly on what you experienced when you were dying?
I wish I could remember more. I only recently did try DMT. Thank you, Joe Rogan, for telling me to do it. And Mike Tyson. And it was a reminder. I found it impossible to conceptualize the Jasper at the time. I was able to say, like, shapes, colors, portaling. That's what it felt like. Zoom, 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 dimensions. And then after trying the DMT, I was like, okay, I had a clearer image of what it was, what it was like, because it was like that when you with your eyes closed, just perfect concentric, like geometric shapes, circling in just perfect ways, and like never touching each other, but like having a crazy complex design just blending together, and like, I don't know, man. Yeah, probably was oxygen deprivation, and just a weird little quirk of the brain, but
DMT is present in the body, right?
Yeah.
So maybe that is what people experience when they die.
Maybe, man. Maybe it was. You know what? It's not a bad way to go. Like zero. You're not conscious of anything. Your lights go out. I was in the most beautiful area I'd ever seen. Just shot a fish. Like, I wasn't going to eat it, but shot it. Woo. So it wasn't bad. It wasn't bad. I guarantee the way it eventually does get me will probably not be as beautiful as that one. So yeah.
Yeah, it's funny because we almost think that we're special and that something so small as, for you, spearfishing was something that was familiar and you were
Mm,
probably never even considering dying or from drowning. But
mm.
it's just crazy how little things can fucking just take us out.
Yeah, man. Yeah, one little misstep, especially when you're dabbling in something like spearfishing, like you need to concentrate, you need to take it seriously. So more taking it seriously from now on. I did a few free diving lessons on YouTube. I was like, okay, this probably is worth reading a little bit, and watching a little bit. So yeah, gotta take these things seriously. Because before, man, you just feel invulnerable till it happens to you, and then you're like, oh, I'm a human being. I'm immortal. I am immortal.
I am immortal.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
mortal, not immortal. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, it's a great lesson.
yeah.
So I guess Josh, thank you so much for leaving us with an amazing story. That was absolutely legendary. So what's next for Tuck South?
Took South. We are taking on South America, baby. Took South America.
South America.
Yeah,
And where are you starting?
we're gonna take them over to Montevideo in Uruguay, and then we're gonna boost down through Argentina, go to Patagonia. I've always wanted to see Patagonia, and start from the very southernmost point, and then we're gonna tootle up Alaska, North Pole. People are probably going to cancel us when we leave our tuk-tuk on the North Pole, but I'm afraid when I die, I'd like to know that every compass in the world is pointing to Princess Buttercup sat on the Pole. I know it's littering, but sort of quite a cool legacy to leave behind. Yeah.
And is it the same tuk-tuk that you've used in Africa that you're carrying over?
It is, yeah. So we're going to get a new engine, get a few more horsepower to get us up those hills. Yeah. We're not good at altitude. We've got an 8 horsepower engine, so we're going to need to beef that up a little, and then
Yeah.
we'll bounce, man. We'll bounce. We'll get the money and we'll head. Because it turns out like this tuk-tuk travel life is just it's the best way that, well, and it's not for everyone, but for us, it's like the only way currently that we could see ourselves living. Now we've tasted it. It's just so good, and it's just so
Hell
very,
yeah.
yeah. So we have to keep going. We
Hell
manage
yeah.
these things now, man. I'm sorry, mum, dad.
Hell.
Sorry, grandkids are gonna have to wait. These tuk-tuks need to get to the North Pole.
Yeah. And so just can you please remind people where they can find your socials and where they can follow along your journey?
Of course. So Tuk South is on Instagram. That's our group name. And then I'm on TikTok, Josh Porter. If you just type Josh Porter, I'm sure it'll pop up. There's also I think, an American ex-Marine called Josh Porter who also pops up. I'm not the really super jacked, handsome one. Okay, I'm the blonde, scrawny guy covered in mud. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Perfect. So listen, thank you so much. And I was wondering if you could leave us with a little bit of a tune, specifically one about a warm brown sauce that reminds us of home.
A tune? You want me to sing?
Yeah.
Oh, gravy. Fuck. Oh, man. If you want, I can send you that file and you can play a little bit of it if people want to know why I'm singing about gravy. Essentially lost my mind on that island, started singing songs with a song about gravy. Yeah. You really have done your deep dive, Phil. You've got to take your cap off to you, my friend. Fair enough.
Right on, buddy.
Nice,
Take
bro.
care. Thank you so much.
No worries, man. Thanks, bro. It was fun.
And we'll catch you later.